So today we're going to be creating a little miniature practice in our sketchbook for our zoomed in self-portrait. And you can see what a few past student examples have looked like. This is going to be a great chance for us to practice learning how to use colored pencils before we jump in. Now today you're going to need your colored pencils and a good pencil sharpener. And then you're also going to need your gridded resource photo. I like to have it on a screen where I can pull it up and zoom in and move around to the area that I want to look at. And what you want to do today is choose a 2 square by 2 square section that is challenging, that's going to have a good variety of things in there for you to practice before we jump into the real thing. So I'm choosing this section because it's got my eye, it's got hair, and skin tone. I think that'll be a good one for me to experiment with. You don't want to choose anything that's too simple for this, just because you want something really challenging, because that's going to teach you how to use colored pencils really well. Now, your first step is going to be to lightly block in the outlines and shapes in pencil, and then you want to go through and erase the inside grid on your drawing. And next, we want to go through and pick out the colors that you're going to need. You want to pick out every sort of color that you think might be part of the tones to help create your skin tones, your eye color, your hair color, whatever might be in that patch, that area that you're going to be shading today. Now, I like to look for undertones as well. This picture has a lot of really warm pinks, so I'm going to make sure I pull in some hot pinks too, which may seem really unusual. You may even see that your skin tone has some violets in it, or greens, or blues, maybe even some reds or oranges. But pay really close attention to what sort of colors you see, because skin tone is never just a beige or a tan or a flesh color or a brown. It is always going to be a rich, complex series of colors. Now there, I'm sort of picking out the colors for my eyes, and I'm going to need a bunch of different colors for that too. So this really wide range of color is going to help depict the complexity of all the colors that you see. This is going to make your colors more realistic, more vibrant, and richer, because you're introducing this great range of colors. So you're going to pick up on all these very subtle color hues. Now, once you're ready to begin, I like to start with a color that's closest to the natural color that I see in that resource photo. Now, a good rule of thumb with colored pencils is that you start your shading with very light pencil pressure and gradually layer and build all of your colors that you need for that area, building up the colors and increasing the pencil pressure as you go. So by the time you finish that little patch of area, you've built it up to where you have full pencil pressure. And once you've got that full pencil pressure, I actually like to use, especially for light areas like this, white or a very light color to be that final layer in that area. And I like to use little small circles because that helps to burnish and polish basically and smooth and blend all those colors together. So getting that burnished, polished surface at the end of each area as you work on it is really, really important, because that's what's going to give your colored pencil that sense of polished smoothness that you see and that you really want to achieve. So you shouldn't see any part of the white piece of paper, those like little white dots peeking through any part of your drawing by the time you're finished. You want it all to be built up to full pencil pressure, full waxed layers of color. That's going to give you that really final finished look. Now, while you're working to build up that pencil pressure of your color, it's very, very important that you match the true colors that you're seeing. You want to really think about the local color and look for all of those subtle hues and color shifts that you're seeing, but you also have to match the value of the color, how light or how dark it is, and you also have to match the saturation of the color. Now, if you need to desaturate or dull a color down, you can add a neutral with it, like a brown or a gray. Sometimes I even actually use that silver that comes in your set. Or you can also sometimes add the complementary color. So if you need to desaturate a warm tone, like a reddish, warm pink skin tone, you can even actually add some green to it. Or if you need to desaturate yellow, you can add some violet. So think about complementary colors as well, but you need to do this really subtly where it's not super bright. Just very light layers of a complement can help dull a color down as well. Now, learning to use colored pencils is very much about practicing, you've kind of got to just jump in there and do it and see what works and what doesn't work for you. You're going to find your own tips and tricks that work great, and it's really just going to come from experimentation and doing it yourself. It's all part of the learning process. So with this practice assignment today, don't be upset if you make mistakes. That's all part of the learning process. This does not have to be perfect today. I just want you to experiment with the materials and get sort of a handle on how they work, how they layer and blend together. So just experiment and have fun today as you work on this miniature practice.